How many times have you heard about the Starship in the past few years? If you are an avid SpaceX fan, chances are you have been hearing about it for quite some time now. Yet we still haven't seen the spacecraft fly. Today, we will be talking about Starship's first orbital launch attempt. Finally, after years of planning and constructing, we finally have a ready prototype of the Starship. You must be wondering, what caused the delay? And how will the spacecraft carry out its launch attempt? Well, stick around till the end as we answer these questions and more, as we delve into the intricacies surrounding the Starship's first orbital launch. Without further ado, let us begin. Recently, Elon Musk tweeted a picture that showed the Starship along with the Super Heavy rocket. And if the purpose of the picture was not that obvious, Musk also bluntly wrote, "Starship launch attempt soon." Well, ever since, the space community has gone berserk, as finally, we will be seeing the much anticipated spaceship take flight. But this begs the question, why was the launch delayed in the first place? The launch was delayed due to a mixture of exterior and interior problems. First of all, let's discuss the exterior problems. After all, they turned out to be the most troublesome causes of the delay. Before they could even finalize the Starship, it came to light that SpaceX would have violated environmental standards by launching from the Boca Chica facility. The FAA cannot grant Starship a launch authorization without the Programmatic Environmental Assessment, or PEA for short. The FAA issued the drafted PEA for the Starship project in September for review and comment by the general public. The proposal generated more than 19,000 responses, which forced SpaceX to respond and resulted in a first-time delay in the decision. Since then, SpaceX has been striving to reach a deal, but the process has been somewhat delayed. So as you can imagine, this has been a major external reason for the delay. We've talked externally, now let me shed some light on some other problems that led to the delay of the Starship. Mars is a long distance away, and you'll need incredibly powerful engines to get there. The Raptor 2 engine has helped SpaceX to fix the issue, but this has once again caused difficulty. While it is true that these engines are amazing, their power results in a negative side effect. These engines produce such a great deal of heat and fire that it eventually causes damage to the rocket itself. Because of this, not all the engines can yet be fired simultaneously. SpaceX is pushing the boundaries of space technology by striving to acquire maximum power while maintaining precise temperature control. The company has faced challenges in developing the Starship, including delays caused by test flight failures and issues with the heat shield. Despite these obstacles, SpaceX continues to innovate and make progress towards their goal of making space travel more efficient and accessible. Now that you know all about the various delays the Starship suffered, let us talk about how things are starting to get back on track. The many issues that have previously delayed the Starship, which was highlighted in the video, are being addressed. For example, SpaceX is now seeking permission from the FAA. The plan from SpaceX had to first go through a protracted environmental approval process. In the end, the FAA gave the flight the go-ahead but made a number of requirements for SpaceX's launch strategy. They had to wait a long time, but they eventually received the launch permission. That's not all. SpaceX has also corrected a lot of the interior issues, but they will eventually improve with more test flights. That's why the upcoming orbital flight is so important, as it will open the doors for further improvement and refining of the spacecraft through trial and error testing. That being said, finally, it appears that SpaceX will resolve the several issues that have caused the Starship significant delays. Let's now talk about what you've all been waiting for: how SpaceX is on the edge of Starship's first orbital launch attempt. On January 12th, SpaceX tweeted that it has begun a last round of testing at its Starbase test facility in Boca Chica, Texas, using its Starship spaceship and Super Heavy launcher. This confirmed that SpaceX was almost done with its testing and will finally start its orbital launch phase soon. No wonder everyone got excited. This was pretty evident a couple of days ago too, when on January 9th, SpaceX mounted a Starship vehicle called Ship 24 atop a Super Heavy rocket called Booster 7. These were really promising signs that marked the end of testing and the start of launch attempts. But that's not the end of the story. There is still a lot to do before Starship takes off on Super Heavy. The combined vehicle still requires a wet dress rehearsal. If you're confused about what that is, all launch vehicles go through system testing. Prior to launch, a fully built launch vehicle and its associated ground support equipment undergo wet dress rehearsal and a more complete static fire testing. Speaking of which, after the wet dress rehearsal, the Super Heavy rocket will then have its upper stage removed so that its 33 Raptor engines may do a complete static fire test. That's why SpaceX has set a tentative date around late February and early March for the orbital launch. In reality, according to sources familiar with the planning, the Starship team had set a target launch date of January 20th. However, the date moved to accommodate testing, which, according to one of the sources, was delayed in part by roadworks close to the test location. The owner and leader of SpaceX, Elon Musk, stated in a tweet that he aims to send a flight this year in 2023 in a couple of weeks. This is a vague response, but keeps us hopeful to the Starship's developments. Elon, in another tweet, stated a launch in late February seems unlikely, but certain for a launch in March. If we look at the testing drone for the Starship in the last few years, the odds are against Elon, as out of the last 3 test flights, 2 have ended up in chaos and explosion. After this failure, SpaceX announced that it would shift gears and begin producing more Raptor engines, testing Super Heavy booster prototypes, and preparing for the first launch of the Starship into orbit. Yeah, I know these delays are getting frustrating now, but these things happen when you have such a mammoth project as the Starship. I would just like to say that the Starship has the potential to become one of the most successful spaceships ever built. Its huge design, coupled with its extensive line of state-of-the-art features, can enable it to reach unprecedented levels. Hopefully, this spacecraft really changes the way we perceive space travel, and things like journeys to Mars become consistent thanks to this in the coming future. With any luck, we won't get hit with any more delays, as the orbital launch will go on as planned in early March at max. Let's just hope that when it does, it happens successfully without any hiccups. Fingers crossed. I think I've cleared everything there is to know about Starship's first orbital launch attempt. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, do like this video. But if you're still confused, do let us know in the comments down below. We value the feedback of our subscribers, so do not hesitate to do so. And lastly, subscribe if you want to see similar videos. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.